the SKA CAST featuring Half Past 2. Today we got the lead singer Tara, and she's taking us through Half Past 2's story as a band and their latest release, Something Blue, the EP. I actually just recently found out about Half Past 2 myself, and so when I did my homework and looked into the band's history, you see that the band has a big amalgamation of work, a lot of music, including their first full-length and first demo, being produced by the one and only Aaron from Real Big Fish. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna go ahead and jump into the episode now, though. This is Tara, lead singer of Half Past 2. I want to give a shout out to her and all the rest of Half Past 2. Peace. This is the SKA CAST.
How you doing, miss?
I'm good. I'm so tired right now. I'm good.
Of course. Yeah, I appreciate you for doing this, by the way. I know you're mad busy, so, I just kind of wanted to go ahead and see if we can start from the beginning and try and maybe get into your story before we hop into, like, Half Past 2. I just kind of want to know, like, were you always, like, a singer coming up? Were you, did you, like, start at a young age?
I've always kind of, like, I know, that's, like, a weird thing. I feel like a lot of singers they always say the same thing. So it's hard. Like, I've been singing since I was a kid, you know what I mean? Since I was a little small child, and I always liked singing, and I was always in choir, and when I was really young, like at church and in high school, did a lot of singing. I took like singing lessons, but I didn't think after high school I would keep singing, but I joined a band and here we are like a million years later, so
Right.
It's working out and I'm having a good time. I think back, and there was one time where I told my grandparents, they were like, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I was like a little kid. "I want to be like a rock star." I said that.
Yeah.
And they were like, rolled their eyes at me and said, "You want to be a teacher." But I guess I've spent my whole life just trying to prove them wrong.
Hey, there you go.
Be in a band.
Yeah. Hey, it's cool they have that memory. I mean, I think like in like third grade or something, they asked us like what we want to be and to post it up on like the wall, like under our name or whatever. And I wrote professional wrestler. You know what I'm saying? And I got the bad end of the stick for that one for sure. For like the rest.
Why? You could have been a professional wrestler. Like, why not?
I mean, honestly, I think I just said that because that's what I was like watching about at the time. But how that goes. Didn't get into professional wrestling, as you can see, but hey,
It was a passing fad. So
yeah, it's kind of one of those things,
Like ska music.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think a lot of the fans probably won't ever really let go of ska music. I don't know how you feel, but
well, with ska music, I think because it depends on when you came into it, right? Because it's always been sort of like, I say unpopular, which is like not the nice thing to say. I'll say like underground genre.
Yeah.
There have been times where it's been more seen by the public, but it's never been like super like widely liked by all, But I got into it because somebody I knew liked ska music, and even growing up, like my dad would play me music that I didn't necessarily know like was ska music. I listened to Madness and the Specials, and like I watched Dance Craze, like the film, when I was growing up because my dad liked that stuff. It wasn't the only thing he liked, but yeah, I don't agree with you that people don't get over ska just because it's like a joke, like with especially third wave ska. It's like, "Oh, you still listen to third wave ska? Like, when are you gonna grow up?" or whatever. It's like that's part of the joke, but
Gotcha.
yeah, I think that if you have a passion for ska, then of course you never let it go. I mean,
yeah.
I listened to ska for the first time when I was 13, and I've been in this band for going on 14 years now. This ska band. It's always been a ska band. It's not been one thing and then become another thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right too. I think I think there's also maybe those times where people walk away from it and maybe they come back. I don't know if that's ever happened to you. Like maybe, I don't know.
I mean, I don't listen to just ska. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people that do listen to just ska, but no, I definitely listen to other things, and I've been influenced by different things, but ska is like a huge part of my life. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, of course, sometimes you like step away from something and you come back. I think ska has gotten really exciting recently because of all the like new bands. For a while, like we've been a ska band for a long time. For a while, it was just like, I mean, no offense to us people plugging along, but it was just the same people doing the same stuff, and there's all this like new ska. Like, it's scary to say because people like are so not stuck. People like what they like, so if you like two-tone, sometimes you just like stick to two-tone, right? If you like third wave, sometimes you just stick to third wave. Just like fourth wave or whatever ska revival you want to call it.
Yeah.
Kind of scary, kind of freaky.
I mean, you know, I think I honestly, it's funny, like the whole wave stuff, like feel me, like I just think third wave got slapped on what we know as third wave because of when it happened. You feel me? You know, it could have been the fifth wave at that time if it something happened earlier. You know.
Right, yeah. It's definitely moving with, like, it's generational, right?
Yeah.
That's what I always thought was so weird about Half Past Two is like we fell between like the crack. Like if you talk to people that listen to third wave, they'll tell you that don't listen to anything after like 2006 or something. Well, we didn't release our first album until like 2007.
Right.
And then nobody's been talking about ska music in a like as you know in a positive way as they are now. I would say like 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, maybe less. So yeah, it's weird being in that little middle zone, but it's kind of interesting to like see it. Like to see how people, you know, sort of walked away from the genre and are like excited to come back to it because there's like so much to listen to and see and like participate in. I don't know, that sounds so strange.
No, most definitely. I mean, I guess I'll ask you this: like, did you ever, were you ever hanging around like more of like the Spanish speaking like skacore scene at all throughout the years?
You know, I grew up in Orange County, and they call it like the Orange Curtain, and it's so true. Like I was pretty sheltered, and I didn't go up to LA as much. I love like my brothers, Matamuska, like those are the bands that introduced me to those type of things, like Ghetto on Fire too. Like we just became friends, and that's kind of how I started listening and being more familiar with that music. But you know, that was another thing that I thought was interesting too, because like I said, here in Orange County, I was like used to one thing, and then all of a sudden I'm like, there are so many people listening to ska music in LA, and it's really cool. I don't know how else to explain it, but
oh yeah, I got you. I mean, it's definitely like kind of like a demographic split too, you know, like how you're saying, like, you know, like between the cities. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys have played like in those shows yet, but you know, when shows are able to start happening again, you guys should definitely check it out. I think
I'd love to, and you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because if anybody's listening to this, like in those bands, I hope that they know that our intentions are pure, because I feel like we don't get those shows because we're kind of like hokey. I wouldn't say hokey, we're just kind of peppy, right? We're like, but we still 100% support our friends, and we love that kind of music. We would love to play in LA more. Please accept us, LA. We are okay people, we swear.
No, I feel you. Honestly, if I can be real with you, the LA scene is kind of interesting, because I would honestly maybe try doing shows with Get On Fire to your friends, you know, and Mata Mosca, because in all honesty, like your guys' sound, like it's not any different from most of those bands, even like the biggest of bands. I mean, if you're saying, if you're using the words, you said quirky, or
yeah, I feel like we're kind of like every time we play in LA, I get nervous because I'm like
yeah.
No, it's cool, but if they're cool with it, if they're cool with us being like little weirdos and stuff, and they just want us to play, like we're down. Like we love everybody. We want to have friends. We want to go to those shows.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Sure. You just got to get shows with bands that you know that your sound will mix. Because I know what you're saying in terms of like, maybe we're a little too peppy. I mean, like I said, like there's a lot of bands in that scene that are extremely peppy, and I'll even go as far as to say it's probably more than what you're trying to describe your guys' sound as, you know?
Right.
It's just they're just in that scene because they came up there. Like
we play with like you had Jackie on, and we love playing with Jackie. It's like a great, you know, it's a match. It's a match. Match made in heaven. Just any of those Angel City bands are great. Like playing with Steady 45s is like,
oh yeah,
like, I love that stuff. Or
they're great.
You know, I'd like to play with like Capsules. You know, I mean, I know those aren't skacore bands. Those are like, you know, like trad bands.
Yeah,
but they're LA bands. So that's what I'm saying. Like you were saying, if I could like match a sound, or if I could find a band that had a similar sound, or like even if you had like a range, like what if you had like, you know, maybe something a little more hardcore, and then like something in between, and then more traditional. We could fit somewhere in there.
yeah. And honestly, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, that stuff happens too, you know, and I just think, you know, when coronavirus comes around, I'll definitely be on the lookout, you know.
Go away, virus, go away. We want to play shows again.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to go out, not even play shows. I just want to go out to
Yeah.
even like see a show. But what was the last show you went to?
Man, I went to the show. It was it was in Boyle Heights. I can't remember the venue, but it was such a steal. It was a DJ from KCRW. He was hosting the singer songwriter from Mexico. Her name is Jimena.
Okay.
So, she's pretty big. I'm not gonna lie. And it was $20, and she came out and did like an acoustic set, and it was great. Like.
Yeah.
It was right before the pandemic, and then in my hometown, the last show that I played was something I set up. It was like a whole like ska thing in like a recreational thing that we had out here, and it was great, you know. And pandemic hit, I'm like, damn, you know.
I know, right before Corona, like the week before everything shut down, the last show I went to was Agrolites.
Nice.
It was like Agrolites, Stepdaughters, Los Nauticals, and somebody else. But it was like at a really small bar in Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was cool. It was really hot. And I remember like thinking, man, it's like really small and hot in here and I can't wait to go home. And now I would love to be there. I wish I was there.
Yeah.
Standing on top of that table so I could watch Agrolites.
Yeah. I mean, hey, honestly, with like all the stuff you guys have been like putting out, for sure, like the 2:30 shows are gonna be wild once shows can happen, you know, for sure, you know.
I mean, I cannot wait for that to happen. But also 2:30, we have some like unique sort of situations personally, and I feel like it's gonna be a long time till we, you know, because there's 9 of us and I want all 9 people to feel comfortable and safe like playing, you know. And like our guitar player Cameron, he books a lot of shows around here, a lot. He runs Pocket Entertainment and they do a lot of shows around here. He's doing the best he can. Like he's still planning shows and he keeps asking his bandmates, us, he's like, when can I start booking 2:30 again? I'm like, dude, I don't know, like I can't. I don't even want to play around, because once I book something, I have something to look forward to, and if you take that away from me, like there goes my spirit. Like my spirit is like a piece of cellophane like spread over the bowl of a fruit salad. Like I'm scared. Please don't give me hope for a show and then just like rip it away. That's terrible. In the meantime, we're being so busy, you know. If there's room for something to do, we're doing it. And it was funny, like even today, one of our friends jokingly sent me a message saying, it's been 2 weeks. Is there going to be something new from 2:30? Hello. And I'm like, ha ha ha.
Has it really been 2 weeks?
It's been 2 weeks since we released See You Again. Well, it'll be 2 weeks on Friday since we released I Will, sorry. And our like entire EP. Something
I was like, I know I just saw the Beatles video, like.
Yeah, I Will came out not last Friday, but the Friday before. But that's why he was like laughing, because he was like, "Oh, it's almost been 2 weeks. Like, is 2:30 gonna have something or what?" I'm like, "Oh, give me a break, dude."
Yeah.
But honestly, we do have stuff. I'm like sitting on stuff. I'm just trying to take a little mental break. It's a lot of work.
So kind of like circling back to like when you got started, like before you joined the band, were you in like the ska scene at all, or were you just kind of?
I mean, yeah, when I was in middle school, my aunt Heather, actually I wrote a song about it.
Right.
My aunt Heather was only a few years older than me, and she started taking me to like just ska shows around. Actually, my next door neighbor was a trombone player in the band Pharmaceutical Bandits, well, RX Bandits. I mean, back then they were called Pharmaceutical Bandits, and you know, and a lot of ska people went to my high school. Like Aaron Barrett went to my high school. A couple of the other guys from Real Big Fish, and Monique from Say Ferris was at my high school when OSHA was there. She turned blah blah blah. So the ska has just always been like around. But yeah, I used to go to ska shows when I was a wee tot. There is currently still an all ages venue called Chain Reaction in Anaheim.
Right.
And at 13, I pretty much just started living there. I went there all the time. Anytime my parents would let me go. My parents didn't let me go anywhere. I don't know why. That was a place they let me go. And I'm just so grateful they did. And then in high school, I would say I sort of like stepped away from the ska scene and I was more into like emo bands.